community, and it doesn't take all that long to learn some of the routing knowledge, the stuff like that. And we are off.
Yes, we are. So here we go. What's going to be in the first chest, Firewood?
20.
Ah, too late.
Oh, there it is.
Now, of course, when you see that bomb upgrade, you almost don't mind if you get bombs for the first item from Uncle.
Yep, the uncle, if he gives you bombs, will fill you up to your capacity. Early map check, very quick. That was a pendant at Eastern, and that's all I caught.
There was also a Pyramid Fairy crystal at the Tower of Hera, so that's an interesting little twist. And then we had a regular crystal at Desert Palace. Fire Rod.
Fire Rod today, that's nice.
Yeah, that's one of the ones runners certainly don't mind seeing. Ooh. And a book right off the bat. So it's going to be interesting how these guys decide to route this now.
Yep, that early book is often tempting you into desert.
Especially with a fire source. Now, of course, you're not guaranteed to be able to beat desert if you don't have the boots yet, but there's a chance, and there's a decent chance that you can. So it's something to keep in the back of your mind.
Yep, I am sure with Andy on the screen, the audience is relishing the possibility of seeing those boots real soon.
Absolutely. Of course, referencing the fact that Andy is able to use hovering. And that is, of course, a strategy that requires the boots, and it is something that just looks like magic on screen. So I do hope we get to see it. Runner's still looking for bomb drops, which is why they're making a few extra kills along the path here, because there is a bombable wall back behind the sewers. So looking to get that bomb so they don't have to come back later.
Yep, that's a good thing to not have to hang over your head, and the particular troll that you might get is if the only accessible glove is in the back of Escape, because if you need to get back there getting a bomb later, you have to go through the whole sewer section again.
Yeah, and I mean, that troll's an important one, because in the rare event that happens, you might have a situation where logically you're supposed to go to Aghanim and take the time to do that, but you could have avoided it if you were able to find a bomb in the escape sequence.
So we're seeing that the fire rod will one-shot that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the quickest way to get rid of him.
So we've seen a blue shield and a blue cane here in Escape so far. The shield, not so important. The cane has a little bit of logical significance. It might be the thing that we need to get through Spike Cave up on Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, more rarely it could be an item required to beat a boss, although that's very, very unlikely. Much more likely we're going to find a sword before that happens.
We have seen the required Cane of Burn on Land Molar very early in this tournament, like first week.
Yeah, that's right. But it's, I mean, considering, I think, as far as I'm aware, that's the only time it happened. How many matches have we had since then?
Yeah, and these runners will use the fire rod on Landmola if it comes down to it.
Of course.
We are not going to be seeing Landmos with the cane.
Not Landmos. Ooh, as Andy does find a bomb, and Thalane also trying to grind for one and gets it too. So nice to see both of them get one. We could see the interesting situation of blind with Cane of Burn. Probably not that it would be required, but that it could at least be an option over there in Thieves Town.
Yep, if we don't pick up any of the Cane of Samaria or Sword by the time we get to Blind, we could do that. Cane is a nice safety item. I imagine these two runners have practiced the Blind scripted strat, so if they have a Sword, we probably won't be seeing that Cane pop out unless something dreadful happens.
No, we certainly shouldn't. And it's a tough ask to knock Blind out with just normal magic bar, not a half magic bar, and only the Cane of Burna, but it is possible. Bombos medallion too, interesting.
Yeah, both runners had some nice RNG with the snakes in that hallway and got that Bombos. That's interesting.
Yeah.
We already have the fire rod, so the implication of Bombos isn't Ice Palace access, but it could be a required medallion for Misery Mire or Turtle Rock.
Sure. All right. So it's less about what's in here, more about you don't have to come back. Oh, but how about what's in here?
We get the hammer here in the back of Escape. Excellent. So the hammer's part of our Dark World access puzzle. Still need a glove and a moon pearl.
Yeah, great start though, coming out of Escape with that, and really seeing a potential broadening big time of this seed. It's looking like it's scheming not to be very linear.
Both of our runners out of Escape within seconds of each other. Very nice on both sides. Mm-hmm. And we got a full heart in Sanctuary, but that was not the Sanctuary heart.
Yes.
One of the heart containers in Randomizer is the heart that comes from Sanctuary, and you know you get it if it refills all of your health when you pick it up. And that one did not.
And both runners going to skip the check of the Lumberjack Cave, so saving a little time here, not making that check as they don't have the boots yet.
Yeah, a lot of runners will hold off on that until they get the boots, or at least until they're heading up into Death Mountain, perhaps.
And they do have the 50 rupees they need to buy bombs in Kakariko, but you do, of course, end up wondering, what if I got that extra tree pull? Oh, as they find a sword. But at the very least, they'll probably get a tree pull right here. Kill the crow. Yep. That's some money.
Yep. Yeah, they killed the crow to set up the tree pull. There are 3 tiers of tree pull. I believe if you kill 1 enemy and then you transition and pull a tree, if you kill 4 with taking damage, and then if you kill 4 without taking damage, I believe are the tiers.
That's exactly right. So it's 1 to 3 with or without damage, and then 4 with and 4 without.
Both runners checking the back of the tavern first. If there's bombs here, you can, save a bit of a purchase early on.
Certainly, it's never really a bad thing to buy 10 early, or even when you've got a sword. It just... bombs can sneak up on you. You'll suddenly look up and have like 1 left in your inventory, and then you're kind of in a pickle. So getting an extra 10, never gonna hurt.
Yeah, like 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have problems with bombs in your seed, but the one time it does, it can bite you real hard.
Yeah, exactly. And the runners have just enough to pay the bottle salesman and get the hook shot out of it.
That's a really good deal.
Yeah, I'll say. Wow. So, opening up potentially even further is the seed. Oh, interesting.
Well, with Master Sword at this point...
Oh, my goodness.
Tempered Sword at this point. 10-minute Tempered Sword.
Unbelievable.
Well, at this point, we need a glove and a moon pearl, or if we get the lamp, we start worrying about Aghanim. Yeah. And that just makes a sinking feeling in your stomach. It's like, you gave me the Tempered Sword, which is great, but now I gotta do Aghanim.
Yeah, although, if you have to do Aghanim, doing it with the Tempered Sword is a heck of a lot nicer.
Absolutely.
Oh!
Okay, so we got a glove.
Wow. This... So, we've got a glove. All we need is the Moon Pearl. Really, most likely, all that's possibly left to troll these runners for that is if it's on the pyramid.
Yeah.
So, What a start.
Yeah, this is a nice set of items. So we're going to be seeing the item in the library here, which is locked behind the boots. That was just a piece of heart.
Yeah. Boring library. Andy gonna walk over and check. Thalane is gonna YOLO the Moon Pearl and save some time.
Absolutely. Thalane going to gain a couple of seconds here. Alright, so now Aghanim is definitely dead. Unless that lumberjack cave turns out to be something.
Right. And we may, the way this is going, we'll probably find out pretty soon.
Yeah, with all these items, the boots are probably not too far away.
Exactly. So looking like Thalane probably going to, yeah, he's going to follow your standard South Hyrule route. He's also got the hookshot, so he can do the dam in one trip with a nice little glitch. And he pulls that one off.
Yep, when the block is moving, the game doesn't think that it exists, so you can hookshot right through it.
Yeah, you actually end up attaching to the chest.
Yep, and you'll probably be seeing those hookshot clips through blocks a few more times in this race. There's a potential of doing it in Dark Death Mountain and Super Bunny Cave. It's done quite frequently after Moldorm 2, those sorts of things.
There's also technically the spike doesn't exist ever in Skull Wood, so you can just hookshot right through it. As long as you set it up right. It exists, but you clip it, so the hookshot goes through. Thalane needs to be careful. Ooh, that was close. These guys will do 1 damage, and if they knock you in, that's... So Thalane is really cutting it close, but he gets some nice drops there, too.
Yep. Magic Cape here in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, that's a nice find. You'd like to have that in your back pocket.
Yep, could be logically required for the Bumper Cave. That could be the implication of that cape. We know it's not an Aghanim cape.
Yeah, it certainly isn't. That idea got knocked out quickly. Both runners going to check the Ice Rod Cave, which can be one of those locations that ends up being a little bit of a troll, so you can understand the logic of just getting it out of the way while you're over here.
Yep.
Be interested to see if either of them choose to fake Flipper after this. They both have Dark World access, so the fake Flipper has a little bit less appeal as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Thalane, they're both going to skip out on it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
They were close on the Zora money. Actually, if you leave the Ice Rod Cave, that big rock there leads to a cave that has a little bit of money in it that you can farm up if you're close to the Zora money.
Yeah, and I think, well, both got a big 20 in there, so they both
yeah, look at that.
Just topped over 500, but if you can skip the entire Zora string, it's worth it. it's a slow one.
And Thalane is giving us a 15-minute dip into the Dark World right by Hype Cave. We got a green pendant at Pod and a red crystal at Misery Mire.
We also have the last pendant at Thieves Town. Andy, interestingly, making a Death Mountain play. He's also going to, well, maybe. I'm thinking he's doing both. He's going to check the Lumberjack Cave, too. What do you think about this play, Firewood?
Well...
Oh, in the mirror?
Yeah, my opinion's going to be tempered by Hype Cave, which is pretty hype.
Yes, it was.
So perhaps it's not that valid for me to claim that Andy should have gone to Hype Cave, because we just got the Mirror and the Cane of Samaria in Hype Cave.
That is something else. And meanwhile, nothing in the Lumberjack Cave of note, so
Yep.
that one's gone.
If Andy had gone... Well, Andy can get to Tower of Terror, but he has to go the long way around. He has to use the hookshot and the hammer. If he had gone to Hype Cave, he'd be able to head straight up to Hera, mirroring on top of Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a massive difference if you're going to be checking the items anyway, which is kind of the purpose of his visit. Of course, it will matter if the top of Spectacle Rock has something good. Then we're going to be looking at a little time loss, but going around isn't a big deal when you've got the items to go get anyhow. And he is going to at least take a peek.
Yep, we can look at one item on top of the rock. Oof.
Oh, intriguing.
Definitely intriguing. So the item... Yeah, the item in the rock is not important, but the item on the rock, which Andy can't get until he gets the mirror from Hype Cave, is a Quake Medallion.
Blue mail, always nice to see.
Absolutely, especially if you have a really early Dark World and you've only got 5 hearts, as Thalane does.
Yeah, great time to find that. So definitely another little bonus to Thalane, and he's just going to go ahead and enter the Village of Outcasts area from down here, save himself a save and quit.
Andy picked up the fire shield in the lower portion of Paradox Cave, and we'll be getting 5 more chests real quick here.
And then what we're most likely to see is he's going to route over... Oh, as he finds the Titan's Mitts there. Now that's really interesting.
Yep, Titan's Mitts here means that he can head into Dark Death Mountain and make some checks there.
Yeah, so he'll probably still do what I was about to say, which is route over to Hera.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a crystal dungeon. You can clear it. You got that fire source if it's necessary. You can hammer Moldorm.
But now...
Or tempered him.
Instead of saving and quitting once he finishes Hera and does Spiral Cave, he's going to continue back down again and jump back into the Dark World. And yeah, that really makes this sequence break a lot more useful. So he's very relieved to find that.
Yep, both of our runners showing some divergence, but there's a lot of productive items coming out on both sides.
I think Thalane's looking around for resource items before he decides what he wants to do, especially since I'm thinking Skull Woods is in his future.
Yep.
5 hearts. He probably wants to get as many as he can before he even thinks about that.
Yep, with the blue mail, everything in there is going to do 1 heart of damage. Mothula's attacks, the spikes will all do 1 heart.
Yeah, you've also got the Gibdos that you have to deal with. You've got, spikes bouncing around in various parts of the dungeon, so...
So Thalane is giving us a dip into Pendant Thieves Town. It's quite possible we'll see the first 4 and then a mirror out.
Yeah, having found that mirror at Spike Cave, or at Hype Cave rather, this is a good use of it. Just being able to get right out once you've checked the front.
Andy with a nice bomb jump gets us a mushroom.
Yeah, that's another interesting find.
Andy thinks about the bumper skip there and then decides better of it.
Yeah, better to just bail out of that one than mess it up and fall. Alright, so Thalane finds nothing interesting as Andy quickly takes down Moldworm.
So Hera got us a mushroom and a heart container and a crystal.
Not too shabby, and it is a pyramid fairy crystal.
Yes. To answer a quick question in chat, why didn't he hookshot to the chest? Because he doesn't have the boots to bonk back across. If you hookshot, you trigger the star switch and you have to take a fall. So he bomb jumped and then he could get across without taking a fall.
That's a good question, and it does. It saves you a fair bit of time to do the bomb jump as long as you successfully do the bomb jump. Otherwise,
yes, and it loses you a bunch of time if you fail the bomb jump because you fall down 2 floors.
2 floors, and you're also in kind of an awkward place.
Yeah, you gotta finagle with the switches.
Yeah. Oh, and the bow! Oh, woods.
Absolutely. Look at that. Thalane gets to get that nice and quick with the Cane of Samare on that block there, and gets the bow. It's really exciting to see a race where there's such divergence and both paths pay out.
Yes. It is probably the most fun kind of race to watch because it becomes almost a challenge to the viewers. Like, keep up with this, guys. This is a lot to keep track of.
And while we're on the topic of keeping up, let's give a shout out to our tracker today, Carito, for helping us out with that task.
Absolutely, Carito joining us here, filling in at the last minute, and we very much appreciate him being here with us. Thalane's got to be a little careful. Yeah, he used too much magic. He's gonna hope he gets a refill from one of these Gibdos. Otherwise, yeah, he's gonna have to bail out and start again.
Andy gets us our first bottle in Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah, and probably less important for a runner of Andy's skill, the fact that it's a bottle. More important that the sick kid in Kakariko Village may have something for these guys. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Thalane getting 2 torches with 1 shot. Very lucky not letting the hand or the Gibdos eat up that fire rod shot.
Yeah, that was a tough little shot. The Gibdos were not being very cooperative. Really seems just determined to get in the way as Andy finds the lantern in Hookshot Cave.
And the shovel.
Wow. And Thalane takes a hit from a spike, so he's going to be at 3 hearts for this. Now you only need 4 hits on Mothula. He tries to spin Mothula, which with the Tempered Sword won't do anything, but it won't matter.
Oh, beautiful fight. Takes no damage. Gets that moth done. So both of our runners now have 1 crystal, different crystal on each side.
Yeah, and chat picking up immediately because chat on A Link to the Past Randomizer is smart, that the flute is somewhere out there. Otherwise, we wouldn't be finding the lantern on Death Mountain.
Yep. Death Mountain access requires either the lamp or the flute by logic, so if you find one of them up there, you know the other one is somewhere else, not locked behind Death Mountain. And we do see the Spike Cave with that Cane of Burna for just an arrow upgrade.
Doing an instant check of the shovel. Of course, Andy doesn't know the mirror is right around the corner.
And in addition, we're getting a ped check. Not today. So Andy gonna turn in one of the fetch quests he found up on Death Mountain. Just getting 3 bombs from the dig spot. We got quite a few. We got a shovel, we got a bottle, we got a mushroom. And
Just
if
a
Andy
bunch
picks
of
up
stuff.
that, yeah, and if Andy picks up that red cane, he can do the fake powder sequence break. So it's effectively another, But wait, there's more bonus fetch quest.
That's true. Unfortunately for him, he's going straight to the Village of Outcasts, still not checking Hype Cave, so he's probably going to go west to south to east in the Dark World.
Yep, so that's going to make his routing a little less efficient if you have to go back to check, say, the cave south of Grove.
Yeah, no, he doesn't know that. It's
Yeah,
really a
absolutely.
50-50.
Absolutely.
But we've got the knowledge that it will be kind of a bummer of a choice.
We'll see Sick Kid, that's new. It's not important, but it is new. 5
Yes.
rupees.
All right, so the last item buried deep in Skull Woods here. And it's Ether.
So that's all 3 medallions that we know where they are, how to get them.
They are accounted for. All right, so Andy's going to find his bow in short order.
There
oh my
it is.
Goodness.
The flute on the bumper cave.
This is really, I mean, what a seed.
Absolutely. You got to start asking, like, what's go mode look like at, 26 minutes? Need the ice rod.
Yeah, you definitely need that. Good old ice rod, the troll item. And maybe the boots?
Maybe the boots, yeah.
Swamp Palace, so you need the flippers.
Yep.
And there you go.
Thalane taking advantage of some nice routing to get that flute and then head straight up to Death Mountain. He could, activate the flute and flute up, but he's already right outside the door to Death Mountain.
Yeah, this is a really good bit of routing. It's not a play you normally see. This is the opportunity to make the play this way doesn't often arise. So
yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen Bumper Cave to Death Mountain, but it's definitely a smart play when you can do it.
Yeah, great choice. And a good bit of improvisation by Thalane, and he's going to be rewarded for it, as we know.
Yep, Death Mountain going to pay off. Thalane will be able to collect his 3rd medallion on top of Spectacle Rock.
Andy taking an intentional death there for 2 reasons. 1, to get back to the start, and 2, to get a little bit of health, a little bit more than he had.
Yep, Andy's trip up Death Mountain is going to reward him with quite a bit more health for the Mothula fight. Not that I think Andy would have been too worried about the fight with Thalane's level of health.
No, although, boy, Mothula can get really dirty really fast. It has a way of sneaking up on you, so it always feels psychologically a lot better to not even have to worry about it.
Yep. I think a few weeks, maybe a month or 2 ago, Andy was doing low percent, no damage runs, so...
Gosh.
Or at least low percent, 1-hit KO, something like that.
Yeah. And he actually took damage there intentionally to get rid of his beams, so he's going to be hitting Mothula with the Tempered Sword, not with beams, which do significantly less damage.
Yep, all sword beams do fighter sword damage, and Mothula takes damage from fighter swords, so you can overwrite the tempered damage.
Exactly. And fairly cooperative for Andy, too.
Absolutely. So now our runners are going to be following in each other's footsteps, going to be doing some things that we've seen on both sides.
All right, so Thalane about to get his mushroom, also going to use a bomb jump. Uses a slightly different method, but just as effective.
Yep.
And he bailed out of that bomb jump because he was just a pixel low, so he made the decision to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm. There's a 2-pixel window there vertically that you have to line up on.
And Thalane looking to make quick work of Moldorum, and he's getting in his way, but there we go.
Yeah. So I imagine Thalane's going to be turning on that flute after this, after he finishes the Death Mountain check.
Yeah, it seems like a logical play. Might even make a quick trip over to Misery Mire. He's got everything he needs, besides the lantern to finish it, and is about to get the lantern, so...
Yep. And with the mirror, we can combo Misery Mire and Desert. Desert still has the potential to be boots locked. We don't know that yet.
So it'll be good information, even if he's not able to finish it. So yeah, with the number of checks available, I wouldn't be surprised at that play. It's not necessarily the play, but it's one possibility of many we still have in front of us because this seed is very, very open. Now, Thalane has orphaned Spiral Cave a little bit. Or no, he hasn't. Has he? No, because he hasn't been over there yet.
Yeah, he hasn't done any of the east side yet, so I think we'll see all of that together here.
Yeah, little does he know it'll be all together, but yes. He hadn't even gone this way because he had the mirror before he came up.
So since Andy acquired those mitts on Death Mountain, which Thalane's going to be getting real shortly now, Andy can start in on the blacksmith quest line if he so chooses, here in the Village of Outcasts area.
That's true. I wonder if he'll avoid it, though, simply because he doesn't have the mirror.
Yeah, that's true. That's a difficulty. The game can expect you to do a save and quit to get those. We know that's not required in this seed, but it could be on Andy's mind. But it's a very low percentage play when you've still got so many things to look at. For example, the first 4 in Thieves' Town.
Yeah, exactly. And Thalane is leaving Spiral Cave for now. Let's see how he's going to route this. He'll probably just take the portal here, go up, check Super Bunny Cave, check Hookshot Cave, then mirror and fall down into Spiral Cave.
Yeah, I think that's the call here.
Now, Andy doesn't have the mirror.
No, so he might be taking a death here. If he
Looks
walks
like
into these guys.
I wasn't sure if that meant he might make the decision to just go ahead and clear this. The thing is, there's just still so much stuff out there.
Yeah, diving deeper into Pendant Thieves. If it were the green pendant, it might sway you a little bit further in that direction.
A little bit more compelling, yeah, agreed.
Andy, though, wasn't able to do a pedestal check after Mothula because he did not have the mirror. Right. So Andy doesn't know about the pedestal, though usually you assume it's not pedestal until it just hits you in the face that it has to be pedestal.
Right. And it looks like we've gotten our answer. Andy not looking like he's going to do the blacksmith. So, otherwise he'd have him with him, probably. Because he started to go get him, and then he turned around.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Andy has done the digging game yet, and so he might want to
That's true.
take care of that. And you can't do the digging game with a follower.
Right. Just a piece of heart in Hammerpeg's cave. Thalane going ahead and opening up Turtle Rock doesn't necessarily mean he'll jump in, but he doesn't have to worry about it now. And that is Ether. We're probably soon to find out. Misery Mire, we'll see.
So Thalane getting the lamp and the shovel, while Andy is using the shovel from the digging game. For those of you who are, not too familiar with it, if you don't need the shovel to do the digging game, you get a shovel.
He does give you a shovel for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and that's exactly the play. Route into Spiral Cave, just like this.
Yep, probably see a save and quit out of here to the Sanctuary, and then over to the flute spot.
Yep. So Andy is leaving the Froggy.
Yeah, he may be a bit frustrated when he gets to Hype Cave and finds the mirror.
Yep. And you have to imagine when you find the mirror there, you always assume that your opponent has done everything optimally. So Andy might think,
Yep.
well, you always think my opponent got the mirror first and has done a bunch of those mirror checks, has routed more efficiently with the mirror, has done Death Mountain with the mirror. We know that Thalane has done Death Mountain with the mirror. We just saw that.
That's right. So let's see how that maybe affects his decision making. He may just be on the way to Palace of Darkness. As that's a very item-rich dungeon, and it's the green pendant this time.
Yep, so Andy will collect his hype here. We haven't seen the Eastern Palace area at all.
That's
so,
right.
So
yeah.
Andy, if he heads in that direction, which he's not right now, he's going to give us a Bombos tablet check, I believe.
Yep. Might also check the Forest's Ledge cave.
Oh yeah, that's nice and quick to do when you're in this area.
Yeah. And interestingly, Thalane going back into the Village of Outcasts. So maybe going to do the checks he couldn't do before when he didn't have the Titan's Emits.
Yep, I think that's probably what it's going to be. He can lug the he can get the purple chest and flute it away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he does have Sick Kid to check as well.
Yep, nice routing with the mirror here.
And we're going to get another flute, this time with some audio.
Yep, first one, the bird was unheard.
Now that Andy has his mirror, it looks like he's going to make the same play Thalane is making.
Yep.
Not a massive difference in how much time this is taking each of the runners, but at this stage of the tournament, you feel that little extra bit of angst, as you were kind of alluding to, Firewood. You just feel like, oh, great. He had that, and he did all these checks super fast. Andy is, however, making a check that Thalane did not make.
Yes, he's going to show us the graveyard ledge. And Thalane is going to give us fake powder with that chest in tow. So this glitch, you spend all of your magic, you try and use the Cane of Samaria, you get the angry can't do that sound, and then while that sound is going on, you switch to the mushroom, and the game is like, you have powder, that's how this works.
Not only you have powder, but you have the magic to use the powder, even though you don't. Very bizarre, but hey, that's a link to the past.
Magic powder did not pay off in terms of item, just 3 bombs there, but it does mean that Thalane has that off of his head, the potential of maybe the powder is required, maybe it's deep somewhere in a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, and he as you mentioned, he's fluting now to... Well, at first he's going to turn in the mushroom, which is good. But yeah, he's fluting to 0.7, so he needed to be in the light world anyway. So it was just all built in really nicely for him to route it this way.
Yeah, the items have come up just great, and the routing, taking advantage of those items, has been just on point on Thalane's side.
Yeah, really top-notch. Buys a green potion to fill back up.
Yeah, that's just continuing to show some just good heads-up game knowledge there. Buy the green potion, fill up, and then get a blue to take with you.
Especially if, as you know, I talked about, one of his next plays might be to Misery Mire. It's a little bit of a gamble, but you need some magic just to even get in there in the first place. He is going to do...
A shovel, I believe. Yep.
Yeah. So just ticking off all of these overworld checks all at once. And he's also going to check the tablet, it looks like.
Yep, he'll head into the dark world here. Andy also with the fake powder.
And more bombs. Alright, so Thalane, the first to the purple chest spots for a big 20. Having a bit of a drought here, Firewood.
Yeah, I think these runners are taking these overworld checks. They're both doing it very efficiently, but overworld checks are still generally slow compared to knocking out dungeon checks. So hopefully we'll see. Well, Thalane's going to give us something new with the Gena's Cave here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping for more dungeons soon.
Yeah, and it's an interesting, kind of call. Like, what is the point where you just say, all right, well, I've got plenty of dungeons that are open. I should just go check those. Versus, oh, but what if I can go mode these? I'm going to save that. So that's part of the whole meta game of Rando is figuring that stuff out. And Thalane, interestingly, walking back out, I wonder if he's going to go check
the desert ledge, perhaps?
Desert ledge spot, but he's got the flute, so...
Yeah, it probably would have been faster to save and quit to the old man rather than take that walk.
Yeah.
Andy checked Mire, but I did not catch it.
Nothing interesting in the shed. Thalane headed there too, so we'll get a second shot at seeing it. or not.
Thalane doesn't. Thalane doesn't need to check it. Thalane has all the.
Well, that's true.
Anyway,
That's a good point. He doesn't. Okay.
Consensus in chat seems to be Bombos.
So yeah, so that Quake medallion on Spectacle Rock not coming into play. That won't hurt Andy, and we're about to find out if boots are required. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Up in the air. Depends on this chest here. If this is the big key, the dungeon's clearable at least.
No!
Boots are required this seed. So if you're hoping for a Moldorm 2 hover from Andy, well, that's in the cards with this seed.
Yes, it is.
Depending on where those boots show up, we could see some hovers in Ice Palace, those sorts of things.
Thalane opting to hop back into the Dark World since he's already checked Agina. And he is going to go to Checkerboard Cave, which has this funny habit of having something you need in it.
Mm-hmm.
Not this time, though.
Yep, Checkerboard Cave with just the 10 bombs, which is a randomizer-only item. It was added to the item pool so that we could put bombs on the Uncle when we randomize the Uncle weapon.
And looks like Thalane is going to make the play on Misery.
Yeah, it's nice sometimes if you want to leave Mire for Go mode, but even if you're in Go mode, Mire can very easily troll you and hide that big key and save you no time anyway. So if you're gonna do a dungeon that, you know, before Go mode, Mire's not a terrible. It is only 2 items though, but it is also the Pyramid Fairy Crystal, is it not?
Yes, that's right. So really a doubly meaningful play here by Thalane.
Yep, so Mire itself will only hand over 2 items, but completing it will unlock an additional 2 items, making it twice as valuable to do this full clear.
Not to mention, as well, that neither runner has checked what's on the pyramid, so they're going to get to double route that as well.
Absolutely.
They may even continue over to the catfish check once they're done with that. So, yeah, the routing continues to be really good, given what both these guys have.
Absolutely. So we're going to see them both in Mire at just about the same time, just about the same stuff done on both sides.
Yeah, this is neck and neck after 47 minutes. Andy using those beams to their utmost in that first room.
So this wasn't going to be a God Mire no matter what.
Exactly. It still might be a decent Mire, but not the favorite that everyone loves to see, the key either on the bridge or in that spiky room.
While it's fresh in my head, I want to point out something. I think everybody who plays this game should know this. Thalane just did it. If you hookshot a recovery heart, it has the chance of double healing you.
Yes.
And I think everybody should know that, because that's just a tremendously great thing to have in your itinerary of tricks.
It's a lovely little glitch, isn't it? Still no items. 3 small keys, plus the one from the jelly in this room on the lane side. There's an arrow upgrade.
Yep, Thalane is going to head to the vanilla big key location.
Yeah, at this point, you know, you're looking at even odds. And probably better than even odds when you factor the big key into the equation, so seems like the correct thing to do.
Yep, Andy following suit.
And yes, Elminster in chat pointing out that if you move diagonally with that hookshot grab of the heart, that increases your chances of it doubling pretty significantly. Slash at that green rupee. So gonna have to traverse all the way back over to the right side of the dungeon to get the big key, but they might have been left wondering what was in Mire had they not taken the long route to the vanilla big key location.
Absolutely. It's a very mental game. You build up self-doubt and confusion as you run a scene.
Exactly. Alright, so big key chest skipped as it will have a dungeon item or a key. These runners have the bow, but they do not have silver arrows, so we're going to see strategies that more closely resemble the no major glitches speedrun strategies here on Vitreous.
Yep.
Thalane opting not to grab the magic jar.
Yeah, the magic could have been helpful if you, like, say, use the cape and stand in the goo and slash.
Right. And he doesn't exactly have a lot of hearts either.
Yeah, the common NMG strat is to take a hit from the goo to do a little bit of damage and gain iframes. But with low hearts and low magic, Thalane's gonna have a little bit trickier time. Andy left the magic as well. He has a little more.
A little bit.
Neither runner is doing the fancy spooky action glitch.
Yeah, which they can't do without boots.
That's true. There we go.
Yeah.
You have to kick up some dust in order to get that done.
Yeah, Thalane not even grabbing that little mini magic jar. Oh, he's going to he's going to fake powder an anti-fairy here.
Nifty.
Yeah. Except he doesn't have the mushroom anymore.
Doesn't have the mushroom. Whoops.
Yeah, he's got a blue potion though. So yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and use it now. I think that's a good play.
Yeah, especially since you have the flute if you feel like you need a refill.
Yeah, and he's going NMG strats. He's not even using the cape. With 11 hearts, you're fine. As long as you don't take a hit in this process. You should probably switch to the cape now. Well, yeah.
Okay, we've survived. 8 hours will finish it off.
Andy going in NMG strats with 5 hearts. Now he's doing it absolutely. Oh,
he's not. Ooh, that's a rough bunch of time lost there.
It's massive in Misery Mire. It's one of the slowest dungeons to get back to the boss too.
Ouch.
And he just didn't need to do that. I mean, he was doing it great. He hit about 9 of the eyeballs.
Yeah,
straight away.
Yeah.
But one of them popped right out when he was just outside the goo and did the maximum damage.
Yeah, that's a nasty time loss. Thalane now, I think it's pretty clear that Thalane has a lead by a Misery Mire trip to the boss.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They were right on each other's heels. So now it'll be interesting to see. I mean, are we going to see Andy making, you know, kind of gambly plays now, knowing he's up against an opponent like Thalane, whom you can't lose 2-3 minutes to.
So we are going to see Pyramid Fairy and the Pyramid check here. Thalane then has the option of taking the trip up to Catfish or heading into Green Pendant Pod.
Yeah, and he's not... His overworld routing, neither of them, obviously, hasn't really yielded anything, but Thalane has to feel good, I think, about the way he's routed. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he'll feel good about the results.
Yeah, I don't think he can feel like he's in the lead. You can't ever do that,
right,
especially against an opponent like Andy, but you can still feel good, and I think you should.
And given that, I think he might be willing to invest the time to go check Catfin. Bust for that. Let's see what the fairy will give in the bottle. It'd be nice to get a blue potion refill here. No, a B.
B in a bottle.
All right, Andy pulls that one out just fine this time.
Yep. Vitreous goes down. Elminster pointed out in chat, I did remember watching this, that in the NMG tournament semifinals, Andy actually took basically that exact same Vitreous death.
Yeah.
So it is going to be Green Pendant Pod, but Thalane will be able to mirror and check Sahasrara. There's a bunch of items just that we have not seen in this part of the world.
That's right. And what's interesting is, you know, this is effectively a gamble that Thalane, maybe considering whom he's up against, he feels like he needs to make.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the psychology of Randomizer unfolding before us, because he doesn't know what we know about what just happened on Vitreous.
Red boomerang and a fairy bottle there, and what's Sahasrara doing keeping poor fairies locked up in his closet?
Yeah, really.
Thalane remembers that if you take the warp back to the Dark World, the monkey, Kiki, won't latch on until you stop flashing your invincibility frames. I always forget that myself.
Yeah, he even tried to buffer his movement, and Kiki was still not having any of it.
Like, the path in my mind is usually, okay, I'm mirroring to Sahasrara, I gotta remember to hold on so that I can get the monkey, and then 30 seconds later I forget to do that, and
yeah.
Story of my rando career.
Alright, so Bo locked Palace of Darkness, which obviously not a problem for these guys. You know, it's an interesting thought. We're getting... The question in chat is, why not do Ice Palace? Now, you're not going to obviously find the flippers there. But, what if you found the Ice Rod there, and Turtle Rock had the flippers in it?
Yeah, you could save yourself a double dip Turtle Rock if that's the case.
Yeah, you'd contravene the logic that way, and it could be... That said, I mean, that's a pretty big gamble to take. However, you're entering a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to enter a pendant dungeon, Green Pendant Pod's a really good call. It's just got such item density.
Yeah. And this statistically, Palace of Darkness has progression in it an extremely high percentage of the time. But it's still a pendant this time, so yeah. And without boots, Thalane has to walk all the way around to get to this chest.
And, of course, Pod will give us a bunch of small keys here in the front.
Yes. You can always count on that. Perfectly placed bomb. All right, key central up front as usual.
Yep, so the goods are going to be in the back. And by goods, I could mean actual goods, like ice rod or boots, or pseudo goods, like a bunch of big 20s in the single arrow.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen a couple of arrow upgrades in here, haven't we? So far, not all that exciting.
I believe the single arrow's vanilla location is here in Pod.
Oh yeah, that's right. Another key. Boy.
Keeps on coming.
Yeah, which means now you've got to check the Harmless Hellway because you've got an extra key.
Yep, with 3 keys at this point, we know that Harmless Hellway is not going to be a key.
Great call, Firewood.
Yeah, I think in the vanilla game it's in the basement, but French vanilla, single arrow, valid run.
Good enough.
And these items are just hiding in perhaps the last possible places they could be.
To be fair, it's the Green Pendant dungeon, so you're probably going to finish it anyway, but
Yep.
yeah, it's still frustrating. Oof.
So, we know there's going to be an item on Helmasaur, because we've seen everything else.
Yep.
And he's going to give us a green pendant, which we'll turn in right away to the old man. Right next door. In the other dimension.
Yeah. Same postcode, completely different universe.
We've reached the point in this seed where Chad is starting to speculate about the little one-off locations that we haven't checked, and Zora's come up in chat, because Zora's in logic with a lift upgrade.
It is, and of course, 4 other locations in that area, 3 of which are accessible with their current equipment. And the final one, the Zora Ledge, becomes accessible if you get the boots before you find those flippers. So it's maybe worth a check pretty soon.
Yeah, I think that's
arguably maybe even worth a check before you made this dive.
Yeah, the fake flipper play. If you do that all, you do the. It's tricky because if you do the fake flippers, you can't check the catfish, and if you do the catfish, you can't do the fake flipper. So that's a little iffy on there, but still, a bunch of items that are accessible even while not being in logic.
Right. Thalane making quick work. 17 hammer strikes to Helmasaur King's head, and 4 slashes to his gem, and he's all done. ₹300.
300 rupees. So unless this green pendant turns out to be something, Pod, complete bust.
Yeah.
And both players are doing it to completion. You can be, no matter who you are, Thalane or Andy, you can probably be pretty confident that your opponent is going to make this play.
I would think so.
So you shouldn't feel too bad about it.
Ooh, and Thalane choosing to go right into Eastern without turning in the pendant first.
Yeah, I suppose, given how nasty Pod turned out to be, you think, I just dove into Pod, spent a whole bunch of time there. Let's let's see what Eastern turns out to be.
And of course, Thalane has the knowledge of what's on pedestal, that being a heart container. Andy does not, so he may be predisposed to do this anyway. Whereas Thalane knows he's only looking for items in here. How long has it been since we had a progression item, Firewood? 40 minutes?
Yeah, this seed has given us a whole bunch real fast, and then, as is often the case, just a bunch of nothing. Mirror shield.
So the game's like, right, here's your Cane of Burna, here's your cape, here's your mirror shield. Go to the laser bridge in Turtle Rock immediately. All right.
That's it on Eastern. Thalane's gonna do something nifty with this bomb here. Watch this.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. If you're holding that bomb, you don't go back to the Dark World. So, nice heads-up play, saves a bit of time warping and warping back.
20 rupees.
So that means the entire Eastern Palace area, Sahasrara's Closet, Eastern Palace, Pod, Green Pendant, just absolutely useless.
We're gonna see a Turtle Rock play.
Yeah, at this point, what else is there?
Well, let's see.
There's the back of Thieves Town, there's stuff like Zora and Catfish. And then
Yeah.
there's sequence breaks, fake flippers.
There's the Ice Palace gamble on the sequence break. So yeah, Turtle Rock it is. Now, one argument for the Ice Palace break is, well, yeah, you're sequence breaking, but it's a crystal dungeon. You're gonna have to do it.
Yep.
And we've got a mixture of progression items that we need. So even though you won't find everything there, you might find something. And if that something is the ice rod, that's a pretty big deal. Now, it's an unlikely situation, but it's still a possibility.
Yep.
There's also the possibility the boots are there, and the ice rod. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I mean they were never even able to access the chests to the east side of Desert Palace.
That's true. 2 chests because the small key is on the torch.
Right, so it could be a situation like that where the boots lead to the ice rod. So there's a lot of possibilities here. That said, you've got a ton of items in Turtle Rock, and it's a conventional play. It just always stings a little bit if you double dip this place, which we very well may see happen.
So the last 2 real items we got are the mirror shield and the red mail there in Turtle Rock. So the game wants you to be safe, but it doesn't want you to progress, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. Bad luck with that annoying roller. Man.
That's three nice items in a row that were not progression.
Yeah. All right, let's see where Andy's going next. He's also going to Turtle Rock. So he of course doesn't know he's behind, but considering what happened, you kind of think he has to feel like he is. So it's an interesting choice here.
Yeah. I think maybe he'd be a little more bold with his gambles. That's a possibility.
Yeah. Alright, so we're obviously going to get a check of that chest we just saw on Thalane's side.
Yep, vanilla big key.
And that's why, exactly. Although we would have gotten it regardless.
Yep. So if this keeps up, Andy's not really going to be making up any time. Andy's got to do something different from Thalane. He doesn't know that. He does not know that he needs to make up time somewhere. But we know that.
Yeah, we know that, but that's kind of why I was speculating on his state of mind. Probably is that he thinks, having taken that death on Vitreous, so maybe he thinks this play is the less likely one that Thalane was going to make. Maybe he thinks Thalane decides, yeah, I will go ahead and do, say, the catfish and the fake flipper to Zora checks. You know, something like that, before I go in here. But no, they just happen to be mirroring each other.
Yep, and it's still, Andy's very close to just about a Misery Mire trip behind.
Yeah. There's something I always say when I'm running a seed, and that is that the answer is never Mimic Cave, which is where Thalane just was.
The answer is never Mimic Cave unless it is.
Yeah, in that exceedingly rare case when it is, but boy, it sure is rare. You know, have they even looked at Lake Hylia Island?
I don't think they have.
And that would be a really interesting one. Imagine, you know, the boots are there or something.
Yeah, Lake Hylia Island. You still need to find the flippers if that's going to be a thing. You can do a water walk there if you've got the boots, I believe.
That's right. So, I mean, they would have to sequence break to get to it, but that's just something else. That's a little piece of information that most runners an hour 12 into their seeds, just because of the way the seeds go, will have that info, but these guys don't. So it adds a wrinkle.
So we're going to get 4 chests real fast here. This might be what the game wants them to do. Just some bombs. There they are!
Oh! So you can hardly be disappointed even if you don't find the fire rod here in this last chest. Or the ice rod, rather.
Yeah, that was going to be the key, so...
The key.
Yeah, boots in Turtle Rock on Laser Bridge.
Now, are we going to see Light World plays by Thalane and then possibly routing himself back to that location?
Yeah, if Thalane can stay in the Light World here and keep that warp, that's nope.
Well, he immediately decides he's going to go to desert, so the answer is...
Yep, get that crystal dungeon out of the way.
It's interesting, because he could have opted for the extra time to use the book to get into desert.
Yeah, and keep that warp there.
Right. So yeah, we'll see if that has an impact. It very well may. Now it may not. Yeah. It may be that they find flippers, and so ice and swamp become plays, and they've got to go to the dark world. But if the ice rod is here,
if the ice rod is here, or if it's one of the other overworld checks you can do with the boots, the bonk rocks or the King's Tomb.
Yeah, well, there's one, and it's a bee in a bottle.
Yep, we'll see what Andy does after getting those boots.
Thalane grabs the big key, and he's going to head back to Landmolus immediately, which is a good play. Because if Landmollas have the final item, he doesn't have to go back in and check the chest. Andy with a lovely red boomerang strat in there. Very nicely done. I tend to just get stuck behind the pegs when I try to do that. And have to mirror.
So, with this boots location, we can expect Andy perhaps to do a Moldorm 2 hover, and instead of an Ice Palace bomb jump, we might see the Ice Palace hover.
That's true.
So, Chad, if you tuned in today hoping to see Andy hover, you're in luck.
Yeah, I do believe so. Ooh, and Andy left there. But he wasn't low on health because you can actually end up soft in this situation where the laser is pinging you as you get. Oh, and there are the flippers on Landmollas.
Flippers from Landmo. So, with that, we are in Ice Rod for Go mode.
Yes, we are.
Very traditional seed, Ice Rod Go mode.
Yeah, that's for sure. Andy gonna go ahead and use the book to get in. We're about to find out if the Ice Rod is accessible outside of the Dark World. Thalane just gonna go ahead and mirror onto Lake Hylia Island without even checking it first, which is, or no,
this is Swamp. Yeah, this is Swamp.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it can be done. I don't know if you want to do it, if you have the potential of Go moding it, if you find the Ice Rod somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be the play, I think, at this point, that will decide this. Because a Go mode Swamp is significantly faster. Yeah,
well, the alternative is then overworld checks. The Lake Hylia Island, the Hobo, the Waterfall Cave, Zora Ledge, and with the boots, the Bonk Rocks, the King's Tomb. We haven't seen those either. So at this point, after Desert, Andy's going to be making that call, overworld or dungeons.
And I mean, considering what he has invested already by using the book to get in here, I don't think we're going to see anything but overworld checks for him for as long as he can do them. Because he wants to keep that warp and finish Turtle Rock up if he can. The question becomes, does that save you more time because of the time you have to invest climbing back up there in the first place than it would to just do it at the end, like you often want to do, wait against Tower?
Yeah, that's an extra Death Mountain climb is quite a bit of a time investment.
Yeah, now with the boots and being able to do the hook dash, it helps a little bit. Alright, so what will Thalane choose to do? The answer is go straight back.
Yep, with one item, skipping left either temporarily or permanently is usually the play.
Good fight by Andy there with low magic. Gets his flippers, and we'll see what he decides to do. He's already checked the graveyard ledge, so he could do the King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks without feeling guilty that he didn't route in a traversal to the Dark World. Let's see what he does. Yep, that's right where he's headed. And he seems to be wanting to keep that portal.
Yep.
Although it may be of dubious value now. Big 20 in Bonk Rocks. Thalane going with the conventional just hook and slash strats here. And looking to... Oh, and Andy finds Butter Sword. And he is going to continue.
Yep, continuing in the direction of Zora. So it wasn't on the short path in Swamp. We'll have to see if the lane makes the left side play.
No. And not only that, he didn't just immediately go over to Ice Power.
Yeah. He could be
Now
following...
he's doing the overworld, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Half magic. So Andy's
never
picked
hurts.
up Butter Sword and half magic. He'll have those for Swamp, but that's not going to save him much time at all.
Right. So
Those will save a little bit of time when we get to the Ganon fight.
For sure. Oh.
Not Zora today. Andy,
And,
he considered it. He considered it. But the silver arrows will save more time than it'll take to pick them up right here.
Yeah, for sure. And he did save and quit, so he's abandoned the portal. If he really, really wanted to continue with it, he could have walked back around to go check Lake Hylia Island and the Hobo.
Yeah, but I think at that point you're investing more time
Right.
than it's worth into it.
Exactly. So, looks like he is headed to Swamp Palace.
Yeah.
Thalane finally making a check on the Lumberjack Cave that we know isn't anything. And now he's headed to Ice.
Yep.
And you mentioned this a little while ago, Firewood. We still have the back of Thieves Town, too.
That's true. There's just stuff hanging. Here's the Hylia Island. It is just bombs.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got Back of Thieves. We've got Left Swamp. We've got the Hobo now, because nobody's done that.
And Thalane has, at least at this point, he might, depending on what he finds, he might mirror out and go make the checks on the Zora area. But right now, he's without the silver arrows that Andy has, and that could play a role here. That's item number 1 in Ice Palace, too. My goodness.
Yeah. So Thalane is setting up for the Ice Palace bomb jump. And there's the bomb jump and the nice hammer dash and a bonk there.
That's lovely.
Yep. Just nice little room optimizations like that. Thalane was not an NMG runner before he started Rando, but has certainly picked up some of those tricks, it looks like.
Alright, he opts to just go straight to the right side of the dungeon.
Yep, gets decent RNG there. Sometimes those guys will just hang out in the way of your hook shot for, it feels like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep, Thalane knows he's one item away from go mode. Usually it's faster to leave that chest there for the return trip, but if you know that one item will put you into go mode, you make that check there and maybe save the trip up this side of the dungeon.
Right.
That's 2 items in Ice Palace.
Yep, we are running out of chances. Andy using so-called poke strats, although he's getting a trolley pattern here from Argus, so he begins his spin cycle. Not able to zero cycle it, but he'll get a quick silver arrow kill.
Ice Palace holding on to its stuff
Ooh.
to the last. He's going to use hookshot clips to access his chest.
Yeah, maybe I'm not paying close enough. No, wait a minute. Yeah, the lane went around the right, so he's not skipping anything.
Yeah, no. Have we seen Ice-T Room?
Yeah, he didn't do Ice-T Room.
No, he's got to go around the long way to get to Ice-T Room.
So, opting not to do the bomb jump, perhaps?
Yeah, if you have the Cane of Samaria and you're intending to do a full clear, doing the bomb jump can cost you some time there.
He had the key for it. So, I don't know.
And
decision.
Andy has returned to Swamp.
He sure has. So, this is big. Piece of Heart is the 3rd item in Ice Palace.
It's not Ice Palace.
Wow.
So, that doesn't mean it's necessarily Swamp, but it could very well be Swamp.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
Thalane is going to pick up some magic over here.
Yeah, good move.
Yeah, you have to have full magic to... Well, no, he could use Bombos. He doesn't need full magic.
He could. I'm not sure which is quicker, actually. It's probably quicker to just have gone down here and used Bombos.
Yeah, perhaps.
He's got the gold sword, which can really just smash Cold Stare if you get the eyeballs in the corner.
Yeah. So, we know Cold Stare is not the item, so the item you're looking for is going to be here in left swamp on Andy's screen. Perhaps.
Very nicely done by Thalane, meanwhile.
Yeah, beautiful Cold Stare.
Alright. Big 20, that was it!
No, it is not left swamp. So, Hobo or like
Yeah.
back of Thieves Town
Or Catfish.
or Catfish. These are all
Andy-
just terrible things.
Yeah, he looks like he's running over to Hobo right now. Thalane now doing the Zora checks, so he's going to get his silver arrows.
Yep. I thought that Andy was going to head into Mini Moldrum Cave and set up a water walk. I think that would have been faster. You could dash your way through here.
No!
Not the Hobo. So,
Thieves Town?
Thieves Town or Catfish. This is...
And both runners check Thieves Town, but only the front.
Yep.
Man, oh man.
So, Andy's going to do ice.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah, Andy's going to do a full clear of ice, so any time that Thalane might have lost doing that... Nope.
He's gained it back, and Andy did the left side of Swamp Chip.
Yeah, so Andy's handed some more time to Thalane by doing that in the order he's doing. So, what's the call, Thalane?
Looks like Catfish. Or left side Swamp again. No. Okay, he's going to go check Hobo first.
Yeah. I think at this point, Thalane will not go to left swamp until it's...
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't think so.
Yeah, when you make a gamble like that, you commit to it.
That's true. It does not help you to then try to kind of cover for what ends up being a mistake. Alright, gets his validation green rupee. Gonna flute away, and we'll see where. Thieves Town.
Gonna be Thieves Town.
So the last chance Andy has to get into Ganon's tower ahead of Thalane is if it's on Catfish and he goes there first. And he still might not be able to make the time up because he's still... Oh, and we get the hover. Lovely hover. And then he gets knocked into the hole.
So he gets to do it again.
Do it the long way. Oh. Now he's just gonna bomb jump.
So you got to see a little bit of the hover there. It is not an easy trick to pull off.
No. All right, he's starting to get frustrated here, understandably. All right, there he goes.
If you are new to Link to the Past and you're just joining us, welcome. And what you just saw there is a hover. The game will not drop you into a pit while you're charging a dash. So you just charge the dash. You can't start dashing, so you have to release the button before 30 frames have elapsed. But the game won't drop you into the pit unless you've spent 2 frames over the pit. So you have to release the dash button for a single frame and then get right back on it to pull off that trick there.
And to avoid any confusion, a frame is 1/60th of a second. So we are talking some serious mashing.
Yeah, frequently the strategy is to like use your 2 fingers and just rub them back and forth really fast over your A button.
Okay, Thalane found the map in the first chest here in the back of Thieves Town, so definitely not what he was looking for.
Thieves Town, another dungeon holding on to its secrets till the very end, sending us to the big chest.
Oh.
Oh boy, so blind. It's blind, so we've narrowed it down to 2 locations.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Thalane, pretty close to a fully on-script blind fight here, about to finish it up.
Yep, just a little bit slower than perfect.
And it's
No!
bombs!
It's the catfish! It's gotta be the catfish.
And he goes ahead and grabs the pendant, which actually will cost him a little bit of time.
Oh man. So this seed was so generous up front. It gave us...
sure was.
We had a 10-minute tempered sword. We had, fire rod start. Just a bunch of great stuff. And then holding on to that ice rod.
Thalane still has Graveyard Ledge to check, too, so he's going to route both.
Yeah, so at least the routing isn't so bad. He is going to spend the time doing that check, but the routing is great. He'll head right over.
Yeah, so actually saving and quitting out of the blind fight doesn't make sense in this context. Andy also making quick work of there.
Yep.
And he gets his 6th crystal. Now, he's basically got to head straight to Catfish.
Yeah. If he makes the Thieves Town play, which is quite a possibility.
It is.
So we'll see what the flute is. It'll be... It's Thieves Town.
3. Yep. These guys have... They had some moments of significant divergence from each other. Other large portions of this race, they have been doing exactly the same thing as one another. And that's continuing here.
Yep. 138.
There it is.
138.24. Thalane knew. He got that mirror ready to go.
He knew. He knew, and he is fully equipped as well. So this is about as straightforward as Ganon's Tower can get. Well,
at this point, I don't even know if Ganon's Tower key luck is going to make a difference here.
it's a pretty big deficit. Yeah, I can't see how that would be either. And of course, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves as we still have Turtle to go. Trip number 2. Thalane gets dead rocked. Alright, so it's just a sprint to the back for Thalane now.
Yep.
And boy, I mean, these guys have checked a lot of locations, and we're an hour 40 in.
Yeah, this is going to be quite the collection rate.
Yeah.
That Maiden's looking a little pale on Andy's side.
Yes. Not seeing a lot of sun down here.
We keep getting questions in chat about where is the ice rod and what's on the pedestal. The ice rod was at the Catfish, which is going to be the last place these guys check and or will check. And we know what's on the pedestal because we got the book early and Thalane gave us a check by mirroring over after Skullwoods. I believe it's a heart container, maximum health increase.
That's right. Andy still doesn't know that, actually.
Yeah, so Andy doesn't have the Eastern Medallion, so he's not going to give us a ped pull.
Probably not a check either. No, he's just headed
No,
straight.
at this point you don't do the check. If it's not here at the Catfish, he's just going to go do Eastern is what his play would be.
Exactly. Nicely done by Thalane there to get a 1 against Trinex for the first phase, and he's lining up for the quick kill here. Didn't quite get it, but still makes very fast work of that turtle lizard head, whatever he is. And Firewood, we have a game we're going to play, don't we?
I believe we do. Thalane has just picked up his 7th crystal, so he's going to be heading to Ganon's Tower real quick now. There are 22 locations in Ganon's Tower that can hold the big key. Get your guess in chat. If you are a SpeedGaming supporter, a sub, or you've donated 250 bits across all of the channels, then you'll be entered for our leaderboard. But even if you don't are not eligible for the leaderboard, get your guess in anyway, because typing a bunch of random numbers is a lot of fun.
It is. It's one of the great bringers of joy for our randomizer races here on SpeedGaming.
Yep. Justin, do you have a favorite location or a favorite number?
I don't have a favorite. After what we saw out of the seed, I think what we're going to see is a very early, and then like chest 20 have the big key.
Yeah, I went with 18. I probably got it in the chat too late. Somebody else has probably already beat me.
I imagine, yeah. You got to be real quick with the draw. No key on the right side. So the lane just walks back up.
Yeah,
and that's 2 down.
Yep, I took notes on the ice rod acquisition. There's just about exactly 4 minutes between them acquiring the ice rod.
Okay. That is not insurmountable. It's also not very likely to be breached, I wouldn't think. So 3 down in Ganon's Tower for... There's the early powder.
There's the powder. So, inventory completion.
Yeah. And you have to think, because of the way this went as well, with every chest he opens that doesn't have the big key, he's sweating a little bit more.
Yeah, Thalane knows his opponent and knows that there's, it turns out not to be the case, but it could very easily be the case that Andy's in the tower ahead of him. That's what he's thinking.
Exactly. So 8 locations down. 14 to go. Make that 9 and 13.
Yep, we'll be seeing the Rando room here, so named because you only ever see it in Rando.
Yeah, no reason to go to this in a speedrun. I mean, I'm certain we all did when we first played this game casually, wandering around Ganon's Tower. And there it is!
There it is! It is number 10.
Number 10.
Thalane mirrored out right away. Whenever a runner does that, I get worried that they don't have a small key. But Thalane does have a small key. You want to carry one up the tower with you because there's 2 locked doors and 1 guaranteed key.
That's right. Congratulations to Arcade Gaming, first supporter to guess number 10. Andy wraps up Trinex with 1 heart.
Yep.
Very, very, very close. But he manages to clutch it out.
Yep. Chat's wondering where the deviation has come from. It's pretty much a combination of a Vidi death and a left side swamp check on Andy that's put him this far behind.
Yeah, and both contributing, but I feel like the Vitreous death was the big one.
Yeah, the Vitreous death is probably the majority of that. Something on the order of like 3 of those 4 minutes. Thalane, meanwhile, is making just quick work of the gauntlet, is using the half magic fire rod to tear through these enemies.
Yeah, now he did use a blue potion earlier. Does he have any recovery left? I don't think he does.
I don't know. I know he's got a bee in a bottle.
He's got like a couple of those, yeah.
I think there was a fairy in a bottle. Yeah. Sahasrara was keeping a fairy locked up in his closet, right. So he does have health recovery.
He has health recovery. But magic? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so long as we can survive the next few rooms, I don't think There we go.
A drop, so he's in even better shape. And certainly with his current equipment, a single magic bar is more than enough for the Ganon fight.
Absolutely. With silver arrows, you don't even need to go for that torch glitch. You can just hammer on the torches if you need to.
Yeah, you might even intentionally skip it to try to line up a quick double or something. Alright, so he's going to grab the magic jar, I think. No, he's going to go straight ahead. May have enough. I think he does.
Yeah, I think he's good.
Sure does. Needs to get a key here.
Andy is going to be losing some more time because he's doing Dark Magician strats for the big key, and they're not going to pay off for him.
And, you know, frankly, that's a very good play, in my opinion.
Yeah, Dark Magician is a low probability play, but Andy knows that Andy knows exactly what we know in terms of where he lost time. He knows he lost time on Vitreous. He knows he lost time on Left Swamp. He doesn't know where his opponent is, but he knows that he spent that time.
Yeah, he doesn't know where his opponent is, but he knows that it's not been done in the race room, and
he must feel really behind to do what he's doing right here.
That's true, and you know, you can't argue with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really can't. Tough pattern there for Thalane's first round against Aghanim 2. I don't think that counted a double.
That one probably did count.
Sure did.
So 1-1-2-2?
Yes. Nicely done by Thalane.
Yep, Thalane with the 4 cycles has passed the final exam in geometry.
Yeah, would 2 cycle be like an A+, and then 3 cycles an A, and 4 cycles a B, something like that?
Something like that. So we're gonna see half magic, golden sword, red mail, silver arrows again, just like the most beat down you can beat down.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Andy continuing full right side, and the key is in the absolute worst possible place.
Yep.
For this
Rando room will be the last place he does.
And he even gets bonked by one of the helmet beetles, so it's just not his day in some ways today.
With the gold sword, Thalane having no difficulty getting a 1-on-1 cycle on the first 2 phases of Ganon. 6 slashes on each face, 4 here while he hops around.
And on to the final phase.
Yep. Thalane is going to kill Ganon just a little bit after Andy kills Bob. Thalane just got a silverless hit.
He did. Nicely done. Trying to set up a double here, and he does.
That'll do it.
Chat, get your GGs out, and congratulations to Thalane, who wins game 1 of this round of 32 matchup, with a time just north of 1 hour 52 minutes.
And we have Thalane in our waiting room, so I'm going to go ahead and bring our winner in. Hello, Thalane, and GG.
Hey, thanks.
Congratulations on what must have been a very stressful run for you.
It was indeed, like, I thought this would be a very fast scene at the very beginning, because
So did we.
We got like every item, and then it was basically Ice Rod, Boots, and Flippers left, right? And I thought about dipping into TR the first time I was on Death Mountain, but I decided against it because I still had like so many places open.
Sure.
So yeah, that kind of worked against me, I guess. Also the Catfish tag. I feel like there was never a really good time to do it. I mean, I could have routed it in with the Pyramid Ferry and Pyramid check, but
you went straight to Palace of Darkness, didn't you?
Yeah, because there was like much more chests over there, and I didn't have boots, so it didn't feel too nice walking all the way up there. So I figured, okay, let's check out Pod and Eastern, and then we can still go around and do Graveyard Ledge into Catfish. But yeah.
Yeah, so you really routed this, we thought, just extremely nicely. And like you said, you were rewarded with a lot of stuff early on. But boy, yeah, I mean, were you feeling good at least early on? Did you feel like you were making good plays? And you know, you're up against someone like Andy. You want to feel that kind of positivity.
I don't really know. Like, the beginning just threw like all items at me without doing anything special, I feel like. So it didn't feel like really good. I mean, obviously, when you get like a ton of items, it always feels good, but it didn't feel like I made like big plays to get these, right? So it was like, okay, Andy probably has them as well. So yeah, this is a race right now, and yeah. Then in the end, it felt really bad because the C was like from 100 to 0 in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. We talked about it at the time it happened. You know, you made a very quick hype cave check, and for once it really was a very hype cave. You got the mirror, which simplified your routing. That was not something that Andy checked for a good 20 minutes or so after you did. So that gained you some time. And then the other significant happening You guys were both together in Misery Mire, very close. What do you think, Firewood? Maybe 15, 20 seconds apart?
Yeah, Thalane, you were in Misery Mire, no more than 15 or 20 seconds ahead of Andy.
Okay.
But you used your blue goo, and Andy did not, and he ended up taking a death on Vitreous.
I mean, I didn't plan to use it. I wanted to throw out that anti-fairy, but then I realized no mushroom.
Yeah, we saw that.
You had turned that in not too long before, so it's funny because you just worked it into your flute routing, and then obviously just forgot. But yeah, you used it even outside. You were like, well, mess with this. Let's just get it over with. And I mean, that's the kind of quick safety. It doesn't use a lot of time, especially when you've got the flute and you can go get more potions if you really want to. Was that your thinking? You just wanted to play it as safe as you could?
Like I said, I planned to fake powder the anti-fairy, and I think I would have been fine without drinking the potion after.
Sure.
We had 11 hearts, I believe, and so I had like 2.5 hearts, maybe 3, so I felt like, this is maybe like one spin, so might as well drink the potion right now and do like normal NMG stuff.
So Andy has remarked that he can't join us for an interview right now, but he's done a great job. Andy's in chat if you want to say hi, send him some GGs. He says that Game 2 is going to be on Friday at the same time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thalane, you looking forward to anything in particular for Game 2? Maybe an early Ice Rod?
Maybe Pendant TR, and we don't need to go in there at all, because that was probably the worst part about this entire scene. But yeah, I am looking forward to the match. I hope Andy gets a win, so we have like a good match 3 going on to entertain everyone.
Exactly. Usually I don't root for anybody, but I always secretly hope for Game 3 because I like to see more rando.
Yeah, same actually.
Absolutely, and this was a great race. You guys were neck and neck for a significant portion of it, and I mean, even right down to it could have come down to something like, had Andy decided he's going to go check Catfish before he does that Thieves Town check that you did, Thalane. So yeah, I mean, really, this one was real close. It was exactly what we were hoping for from you guys, a really competitive race, and we're all very grateful to have gotten the opportunity to witness it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. So I also want to thank you guys for commentary, for commentating the race. Andy, obviously, for putting up a great show with me. Kirito for tracking, and the restream from, I think it was Fiesel this time. So thanks, guys.
Well, we appreciate that, Thalane.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, well, we're looking forward to Friday, that's for sure.
Yep, I'm sure you in chat are looking forward to Friday. But if you want some more Randomizer right now, a game between El Magus and TGH started a little while ago on SpeedGaming 2. They're actually scheduled for a triple header, back to back to back tonight.
Triple header, right? Talk about a brain fryer right there. I don't know how these guys can do that.
Yeah, I'm tired, and all I did was talk about a race for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And there's also Pink Kitty Rose versus Willard J. Bradley at 6:30 on this channel, which is also going to be a great one.
Sure will.
If you want more rando and more tournaments, races in your life, you can follow all the channels in the Speed Gaming Network, channels Speed Gaming and then Speed Gaming 2 through 6. We've got ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 5. So load up your follow list. If you're in the mood for following, then throw these two guys a follow, Andy and Thalane. They've done a great job. They will be doing some more great rando and other games in the future. Oh, and my co-commentator, Justin Z. Show him some support, too. He's been great. It's been fun.
It has been fun, Firewood. I'd love to see some follows for you as well, and for, once again, our tracker, Carito5. Yeah, what a great race we got to call here today. Any final thoughts to send us off?
I don't have anything. I'm just looking forward to spending some more time watching some great bracket matches this week.
Well, you're definitely going to get your wish, and we've kicked off this Tuesday in fine style.
All right, have a good one, everybody. Have a good one, Justin.
And you as well, Firewood King. So long, everybody.